Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a nice lunch and welcome to your final lesson of Thursday, which is science. So, as in every science lesson and history lesson, art lesson, we start with our just checking, thinking about things that we've learnt over not just this term, but in science in previous years, and just making sure that we are still remembering. So first of all, let's talk about last week. Tell me 2 reasons why monkeys live in trees. Give you a few seconds to write that down. 2 reasons why monkeys live in trees. Okay, so hopefully you talked about how their hands help them climb trees. So they adapted. If you remember, we talked about adaptation, being able to change yourself so that they could climb trees. And hopefully you also talked about how the food they eat, which is mainly bananas, are found in trees. So that's why they live there. So hopefully maybe you got a different reason. If you did, when you send me your work at year 2 at the palmeracademy.com, which I'm sure you will, and I'm really excited to see it, I'll be able to read it and find out some stuff that maybe I forgot and haven't said. The next part of this first question is match each animal to the most appropriate habitat. So which habitat does each one belong in? Okay, so you've got the Arctic, you've got the ocean, you've got the desert, and you've got a lake. Your animals are, I'm going to say that's a swan. Yeah, swan. Maybe a goose, but I think a swan. A camel, some polar bears, and a whale. / shark. Again, not that sure. I think it's a whale. So, 5 seconds. I say 5 seconds. When you pause the video, just as long as you need. Right, how did you do? Hopefully, for the Arctic, we put a camel. No, I'm joking. Polar bears, because they have really thick fur to last in the environment, and they can camouflage. If you're not sure what camouflage means, have a think, because we have talked about it before. Ask your adult, or maybe wait until maybe at the end of the lesson, I will reveal what camouflage means. Next up, we have the open ocean, and hopefully for this one, you got a whale or shark, but I think it's a whale. Because whales or fish breathe in a certain way. So humans and mammals on land all breathe using this thing called their lungs. We've talked about the lungs before. But what do animals in the ocean breathe through? Have a think. 3, 2, 1. Did you get it? The answer is gills. They use their gills to breathe. Okay. Well done if you got that. Next up is the desert. For the desert, I hope you put camel. Why does a camel fit in the desert? Tell your adult. I'll wait. You should know this. Have you told them? Did you tell them how their hump reserves water? So that it doesn't matter if it takes them a long time to find water. Did you tell them how they have really long eyelashes so that their eyes can be protected from the sand? Did you tell them how they can live in really hot temperatures so they're absolutely fine to live in the desert? I wonder which one you thought of. And the last one is a lake. For the lake, obviously it is the swan, because swans can go in the water, but they can also go up on land. And in a lake, there aren't big fish that will be the predators for them, so they're a bit more safe in those sorts of smaller lakes. All right, now, last time we talked about habitats. Last term, before October half term, way back ago. Can you tell me what habitat a lizard lives in? Where would you find a lizard? Did you get it? Hopefully you said that a lizard lives in the desert. Oh no, sorry. Whoops. Technical difficulties, it happens. All right. Okay, what would you find in an ocean habitat? Not just what animals, but what else would you find? What would you find in an ocean habitat? Let me give you a minute. Okay, so hopefully you talked about sort of fish and whales and sharks and all that stuff, but also, fingers crossed, you talked about things like shells, seaweed, water, obviously, like fungi, barnacles, things like that. More, it's about the whole environment, not just about the animals. Okay. And last question is something you learned last year, which is the different types of materials that you get in the world. And just can you name 2 different ones? Really quick for this one, because you should get this, no problem. 2 different types of things that items are made out of. So hopefully we got things like wood, plastic, metal, loads of other things. If you thought of something different, well done. If you got one of those, well done. Okay, let's move on to today's lesson. Today we are looking at our diet. How can we have a healthy diet? What does healthy diet mean? Well, what does diet mean? Let's start with diet. Tell your adult, what does diet mean? So hopefully you have talked about how a diet is what you eat. Okay, your diet is all the food that you eat. So what does healthy mean? Well, healthy means that it is good for you. Okay, that when you eat it, it has a positive impact on your body. Some food are considered unhealthy, some food is considered healthy. Tell your adult 1 unhealthy food, 1 healthy food. Okay then, let's move on. So, today we're going to be able to draw some healthy foods, hopefully be able to put foods into different categories, and maybe write a food plan for breakfast, lunch and dinner to make sure we have that healthy meal. So, we always have this sort of, is it always true, never true, or sometimes true? Okay, so have a think for each statement. You should never eat chocolate. Never. Is it always true, never true, or sometimes true? Hopefully, we've said that it is not true. Of course, you can eat chocolate. There's nothing wrong with having some chocolate. It's all about moderation, having it a bit. It's fine to have a bit. Obviously, if all you're eating all day is chocolate, you have a chocolate bar for breakfast, a chocolate milk for lunch, and a chocolate pudding for dinner, well, that's probably not very healthy. But a little bit of chocolate, absolutely fine. Next one. Water is the best drink you can drink. Always true, never true, sometimes true. Now this one's a bit trickier, but well done to those of you who said always true, okay? Water isn't the only healthy drink out there, but it is certainly the best one for us, because what water does is it hydrates us, okay? It keeps us hydrated. You might know from when you do PE or come in from break time, you've been running around and you're like, I just need some water, right? That is where water comes in. Other drinks you might like Coca-Cola or Oasis or Ribena, things like that. They're lovely and they taste nice, but they don't hydrate us as much as water does. Okay. And then finally, what you eat doesn't help you grow. So always true, never true, sometimes true. What you eat doesn't help you grow. Hopefully, you said that that's never true. Of course, what you eat helps you grow. That's what food is for. It gives us energy and it helps us grow stronger. Okay, so what you eat does help you grow. Right, first discussion you're going to have. What is your favorite food? My class probably know what my favorite food is, but what is your favorite food? Go. So maybe you could write it down once you've had your discussion so that when you send in your work, I can see what your favorite food is. But for me personally, it's pizza. Who doesn't love a good pizza? It's just so tasty. Right, why do we eat food? Why? Why don't we just, get on with our lives? Have a think. Okay, I've kind of given this one away earlier. It gives us energy. It helps us grow. You need food to be able to keep going. If we just stopped eating, we would really struggle to get up from bed, to be able to walk around. We start feeling really dizzy. So food is really important. It keeps us going. As it says here, we eat food because we need it to stay alive. It gives our body energy to be able to move and grow. If we stop eating food, can't walk, can't run, can't talk, and eventually we wouldn't be able to even breathe, okay? It also helps keep our bodies healthy, right? Foods contain things such as vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, right? You don't have to know in detail what those mean, but you do need to know that they help keep our bodies working properly. So they're really important, are vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So obviously not all food is the same. You get different types of food, okay? And different food is useful for different things. So that is why we always talk about having a balance, so having a little bit of loads of different things, okay? So this is what is called a food pyramid. It shows the foods we should eat the most of. At the bottom, you can see this is what we should eat the most of because it's the biggest one. And then what we should eat the least of is at the top. So with your adult, how much of those foods can you say, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Off you go. Right. Hopefully, you're able to see some clear stuff. So especially down here on the big one, we've got some cereal, spaghetti, bread. These are all the things we should eat the most of. Then up here, you've got broccoli, some pepper, watermelon, a pineapple. I know there's a chef there, but don't eat a chef. Don't do it. He's just carrying more food for you to eat. Just because he's on the pyramid, do not eat him. Up here, we've got milk, we've got cheese, we've got eggs, we've got chicken, fish. And right up here, the little ones we eat, and I know this will make a lot of you sad, but the things we should eat the least of is things like chocolate, cookies, ice cream. I know how much you guys love ice cream, and sweets, okay? They're the things you should eat the littlest of, all right? So this big group, what we talked about, cereal, bread, pasta, potatoes, rice. These are called carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, okay? Very important to remember. So the food we need to eat the most of are called carbohydrates. We need to eat the most of them because they're the ones that give us the most energy, okay? And you need to eat a lot of them and it helps keep you going, all right? So carbohydrates, that's the big one. Next up, you've got fruits and vegetables. I'm sure a lot of you realized that they were all grouped together. So on the left here, you've got your vegetables like carrots and peppers, and on the right, you've got your fruits like bananas and pineapples, okay? So again, quite a big one, quite a lot should be eaten of them. You've probably heard of 5 a day. You should have at least 5 portion sizes of fruit and veg every day because they have a lot of those vitamins and minerals. So carbohydrates is all about energy, and fruit and veg is all about those vitamins and minerals. Next, you've got the things like yogurt, milk, and then bacon, chicken. So this is your dairy foods and your meat. This gives us this thing called protein. Protein is important because that's what helps us grow. So you need dairy and meat to help you with that, meat and dairy, yeah? And then the tiny group, teeny tiny group, are like our cake, chocolate, crisps, sweets, ice cream, all that nice stuff contain what's called fat and sugars. A lot of sugar and a lot of fat, all right? They can be bad for you if you eat too much of them, but it is important to eat it still, just only once in a while, just like as a treat. Not like I said, shouldn't have chocolate for every meal, but just every now and then, just a little treat, a little bit. So this kind of shows you it as a plate. So you've got lots of carbohydrates, lots of fruit and veg, bit smaller amount of meat and dairy, and then even smaller amount of sweet stuff. Okay, so your job today, and remember you can go back through the video, pause to remind yourself of different things, but 3 challenges. You can just choose one or do all 3, I really don't mind. Challenge 1, draw a healthy dinner using that food pyramid. So draw yourself a plate and then tell me what items you can put on the plate that makes it a healthy dinner. Okay, so you need a bit from each group. Challenge 2 is sort foods using that pyramid. Okay, so create that pyramid, create a pyramid, and then find foods in your kitchen and be like, oh, that'll go in my fruit and veg. Oh, we've got bread, that'll go in my carbohydrates. Okay, use the food in your kitchen. And then challenge 3, create a menu. Make a little menu of the food in your house. Make a breakfast, lunch, and dinner where each meal is nice and healthy. All right, some really fun challenges. Have a go. Look around your house. Look at the different foods. What type of food is this? What type of food is that? Okay. That's all for science today, and that's it for Thursday. Have a great time doing this. Have a lovely evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Please remember to email year2@thepalmeracademy.com with your work. Can't wait to see it. And yeah, have a great rest of the day. Thanks, everyone.